Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hidden Brick, where today we're doing part 2 of the build of the LEGO Technic Formula Off-Roader. This is where we made it in the first video. We have the fake engine, we have steering, we have suspension. So check that part out, there's a link down below. We're basically going to continue on the build. We have a little sub-build, little piece to make, which consists of this lift arm with a lot of friction pins in it, and a pin with a little thin lift arm hole. Three long axle, and we have a couple joiner pieces, if I can find them. This is the first one. It's basically an axle joiner with a perpendicular axle hole. And the next one is a perpendicular axle hole with a axle. Couple angled axle joiners. Those pieces, some pin joiners, another lift arm with some friction pins. Goes here. We bring our model over. Line all that up. There we go. So we've created some exhaust ports on the side of the little off-roader piece, and we're beginning to hold everything else together. So we're going to kind of repeat that detail. This one's going to be opposite hand, or a mirrored version of it. Through there. Angled axle joiners is what creates the exhaust tubes, and then these pin joiners are the actual exhaust tips. We got one more thing to make. Carefully line up all the holes. There we go. So we'll keep it facing this direction. Alright, next we're going to create the rear differential. It's really long. So we slide this into this big beveled gear. Kind of make sure it's loose so it doesn't have a lot of friction when it's spinning. We're going to create two brackets to hold parts together. So that's one. Let's do the other one. Now the differential gear, we have these bevel gears that go inside of it. So you put one, there's a little bitty rod that one of them sticks on, and then the other two simply just slide in. There's a little slot there that they slide into. One of mine is not sliding in right. There it goes. So now they're in there just right. And careful not to drop it or else they'll come out just like that. So there's nothing holding these two side ones on just yet. So once I slide it in this frame, I then have to put these axle pieces inside, and that's what will hold it together. So that will prevent them from coming out. So now there's our differential. So you can see it turns freely now, nothing comes out. Alright, now we have the wheel hubs for the back. And these are slightly different than the ones we used on the front because they don't have the steering toe ball pieces on them. That one go there, do another one. These will slide on the other side. Now we take more of these thin lift arms, slide them down and over. So these tan pins, those are non-friction pins. So these thin lift arms with the pin holes, when they attach to that tan pin, still allows them to move around pretty freely. Okay. Now we have this element, and these are pretty cool. It's basically an axle that will have a slight range of varying length. So when this suspension is moving on the rear, it will allow that axle to remain engaged while still flexing up and down. Let's see how that moves, how it slides up and down. So that's pretty cool. Do the same thing for the other side. couple more of these with the non-friction pins inside them, along with a toe ball on the outside. Push those both in. That slides in there. So we're using these two long, thin axles, and they are probably one of the hardest pieces to work with in Technic, because once you get a couple of them right next to each other like that, they become very, very stiff and hard to move. And I've read a lot of articles and interviews of Technic designers, and they ask them what their least favorite piece is, and this piece comes up a lot just because of the complications of it being stiff like that. But it's good because it's the only piece that has two axle holes right next to each other, and just being a too long piece. So it has its benefits, but it's a pain to work with. Basically locking this rear suspension all into place. That looks good. Now we have our rear shock absorbers. And two more of the arms to help hold everything together on the back with these little toe ball pieces. So you have to carefully align the non-friction pins with everything and slowly get them on there. Okay, we've got a rear suspension going on now. Next, we're going to add two more pieces to hold everything together. Okay. Got all that locked in. Let's see what's next. We'll turn the model. So I'm trying to keep it oriented exactly the way they show it in the instructions. Because if you don't, you might end up putting a piece on the wrong end or upside down or some other catastrophic way. Got some friction pins. Okay, that's our rear suspension. So now we need to create some sort of linking system to hold it together with the rest of the model. So we'll work on that now. Let's see, this goes like that. So you also have to make sure that your holes are turned the right way, because they usually have them turned a certain way to allow the next pieces to connect to them right. So if you have it turned the wrong way accidentally, it may cause some problems. Bevel gear. This axle slides through it. Go all the way in. Put a bushing on there. And try not to put everything or anything on real tight, because we want it to freely move without rubbing pieces together. Okay, that looks good. Now we two of the 11 long lift arm beams with a couple friction pins on them. Come on. Okay, so this kind of gets shimmied down in here, and we attach that piece there. More friction pins, 2 on each side, and we have these blue pin axle combination. this. Orient the model right. It goes right in between those green elements. Take a couple 5 long axles and slide them through. Okay, so getting the framing going. This is actually the steering portion of it, but it's all gonna tie together. Okay, so there's our HOG steering right there at the top. Goes right there. Weird. Had us build it one way, and then we have to completely flip and rotate it to put it on right here. Now we're going to do the next one. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to attach the shock absorbers. Axle goes all the way through, attach a bushing on that end, and we've got some real stiff suspension on the rear. Alright. We'll bring over this portion, line those two pieces up, and there's the whole width of or the whole length of the model. Attach some beams across the sides, hold it together. This is going to be the seat. Three long axles with a bushing. There's our seat. Goes there. Turn this around. Put another one of these. All right. Next we have our first stickered element. It's going to be sticker number 5. It says Super Turbo. There. Now we're going to have our next stickered element. Move some of these pieces. Sticker number 9. Fast Climb Nitro. So stickering these panels can be a little difficult because they taper it all the way down. So you have to choose which side you want to start the sticker on to kind of line the whole thing up. And then once you get about halfway done sticking it on there, you're kind of fully committed at that point. There's no turning back. It's pretty much on there for good. Alright, so this panel, let's attach this. Panel goes there, slide that piece in, good. Okay, so we have this fender piece. This gets sticker number 10. And we have another panel. It's going to get sticker number 11. can see how I kind of had to slightly peel it off and realign it because I noticed it was going on a little crooked. So that's kind of what you have to be careful with these big panel stickers. Alright, a couple more panels. Panel number 4. Gets a few friction pins. Sticker number 8. I have another panel right next to it. Let's get sticker number 7. This over, goes like that. Turn it around. We have a body panel built that we will slide over here. Let's see if I can figure out how they're showing this connected. There, on those 2 pieces. Okay. Now we're going to repeat for the other side. Start with sticker number 1. Fender piece, and there's only a few more stickers left, so pretty much know which ones are going where just from completing the previous steps. We know we're getting close to finishing the model when we're almost out of Technic friction pins. So that's the main way that these Technic pieces are connected. So when you're running out of connections, you're almost done. Skip the step. Go back, put this last sticker on. So this is the last sticker right here, and this is the hardest one to put on. Alright, nailed it. Got that, and this goes here. Bring this over, and that goes there. So there's our body panels. We have a steering wheel now. And this one goes up here, and it doesn't turn the steering, it's like a fake steering wheel. It's just there for decoration purposes. Next, we're going to build the little roll cage. Couple angled axle joiners with the straight ones. And a few axles. Both go on the end. I don't know why I still have that sticker sheet sitting there. Don't need that. Okay. Next we have a couple of, so here's the few little Lego system elements that are in this set. They're used for headlights or floodlights or some sort that there. Bring the model over. It goes there. So that opens and closes the roll cage element. Now we have the rear portion of it to build, which is going to consist of a few more joiner elements. There. Last one right here and right here. Now all we have left is our big wheels and tires. And they're lime green wheels to match the body coloring of the off-road vehicle. And these are pretty easy. These are one of the easier wheel and tire combinations to assemble because the big balloon tire is so soft and flexible. You can easily get that little lip portion around the wheel groove that it has to go into. Alright, last one. Alright, so there's two sides. This one has kind of the star element, and then this one has the bigger one on the outside. So we're going to do it like this. The big star element on the outside. Do it to the rear. And one more. And that completes the model. So we have working suspension. We have, so you see it bouncy. We have the steering, and we have the little engine that moves up and down. Oh, and then they also call this a function, the opening and closing of the roll bar there, the roll cage. So there you go, pretty cool little model. Appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to check out my other videos. I've got some more Technic stuff coming up, but I have all kinds of other Lego build videos on my channel, so check them out, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.